Hey everybody, this is Al Johnson from the Al Johnson Show, and Kevin Feige, we need to have a talk. We really need to have a talk because I have no earthly idea what compelled you to say what you said. Now, a lot of other stuff you said, which may or may not get its own video, I could understand. Slightly disagree with, but fine. This one right here, this one, nah, nah. I can't let it slide. I can't. So, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, last week, or I think it was a week and a half ago, Kevin Feige, he sat down with a bunch of news articles, entertainment news articles, i.e., Variety, The Hollywood Reporter, I believe Screen Rant, and Collider, where he talked about what's going on with the future of the MCU and what led to the changes they made in certain aspects. What are they going to do to quote unquote get back to feeling, and also talk about strategizing what will be the new A teams for the MCU after Secret Wars. But one of the things that stuck out to me the most, well, not the thing, but one of the things that really stuck out to me the most was the topic of Captain America Brave New World and its underwhelming box office performance and critical success. In the article, someone asked him, Kevin Feige, what are your feelings regarding why Captain America Brave New World didn't blow up the box office or didn't blow the roof off of the car for Sam Wilson as Captain America to receive a lot of fanfare from the critics and the audiences? Why do you think that is? And basically what Kevin Feige said was, I may be misquoting him, I hope not, was when he said, quote, the reason why Captain America Brave New World underperformed or didn't do well was because it was our first Cap movie without Chris Evans. Now, I don't know how you guys, if you guys did read that excerpt or if you guys came across it on your social media timelines. I don't know how y'all took it. Y'all might have took it as, well, yeah, because, when people think of Captain America, they think of Chris Evans. And even if Chris Evans did do this movie, it wouldn't be a box office smash, but it would be a moderate hit. Or like, well, of course, no one was checking for the Falcon now being the new Captain America, and the people was gonna just flock, no pun intended, to it like they normally would. That's fine if you think that way. Weird, but that's fine if you think that way. But for me, when I read that, I thought about something else for a second, but then, and maybe this is a fault of mine, I came to ultimately thinking, oh, well, what a way to throw Anthony Mackie under the bus, Feige. Now, let's just get the preliminaries out the way. Oh my God, of course, Al Johnson, he liked it, of course. I liked Captain America Brave New World. Was it as great as I hoped it would be? No. Was it phenomenal? Absolutely not. Was it mid? Yeah, I can admit it was mid, because if you take into consideration the fact that it was a Captain America, yes, it was a Captain America movie that did not have Chris Evans in the lead, but that really shouldn't be a big factor. And two, the fact that it was made when during the Bob Chapek era when he used to run Disney, everything was being rushed into production and into theaters or streaming in quick succession, and not enough time to look over a few things, maybe catch some things that might need correcting, or maybe fix some things that could be fixed, or maybe edit it a different way that might come off better. The fact that it was made when it had a buttload of reshoots and a buttload of script rewrites, the fact that it was made when the McDonald's Happy Meal toy thing for it basically spoiled Red Hulk, and so the trailers had to acquiesce to it, even if arguably it didn't need it. And despite the fact that Anthony Mackie and Sam Wilson was facing an uphill battle of trying not just to ride off the wave of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier on Disney Plus, but also ride off of the fact that people are like, I don't know about this new Captain America. I mean, I like him, I hope he does well, but I don't know if a bunch of people is going to flock to it and come see it and what have you. Despite all of these things, let's look at it from this perspective. Captain America Brave New World made $415 million at the box office. Not a big box office number, not a huge box office number, but it's still a decent little box office number. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critic rating is 51%. The verified audience rating is 78%. If I was verified, it would be up to 79, but that's me. So, I'm sorry, this whole notion, well, it's without Chris Evans. Listen, I love Chris Evans as Steve Rogers when he was Captain America. To me, I still haven't seen Winter Soldier. Please don't hate me. But I liked the first Avenger very much so. I love Civil War. To me, that's the best MCU movie. I know, Infinity War, Endgame. To me, it's still the best one. Civil War is still the best MCU movie I've ever seen. And the movie is 9 years old. It's still the best one I've ever seen. But I don't know, it just bothers me that it's like, yo, the movie had a lot of potential and had a lot of ground to cover with Sam Wilson as Captain America. And through no fault of its own, the movie didn't meet those expectations. If you guys know from my out of theater review for it, I said that my biggest problem with the movie was that because it was 2 hours long, just like Thor Love and Thunder, just like Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, and to a small extent Thunderbolts and the Fantastic Four First Steps, which I have not seen yet. If the movie was given a bit more time to cook, a bit more time to stew, a bit more time to build up a lot of plot points and a lot of character arcs, and maybe flesh out some things here and there, the movie would have been just as solid as maybe the first Avenger, but nowhere near Winter Soldier or Civil War. So the fact that well, it's without Chris Evans, almost as if to say Anthony Mackie, he couldn't sell the movie on his own. Now, yes, you could argue, well, the biggest selling point of the movie was Harrison Ford and Red Hulk. Okay, yes, but also it's a Captain America movie. No, actually, it was a sequel to The Incredible Hulk. It was still marketed as a Captain America movie. Those things are beyond Marvel's control. How come we had Hulk characters or a Hulk villain and the leader in a Captain America movie? That's beyond their control. Remember, Universal Pictures still has distribution rights to the Hulk. So even if we wanted a solo Hulk movie where we can get the leader and the Hulk and Red Hulk and this and that, it wasn't going to work because Universal would need first dibs to make the Hulk movie. So Marvel now wanted to do that, already dealing with the headache of handling that with Sony and Spider-Man, they decided, okay, we'll just put Red Hulk and Lita in our Captain America movie. And looking back on it, I do think, to me, it was kind of, actually not kind of, it was a bit of a letdown. Oh, sorry about that. That was my dog. Anyways, yeah, that was kind of a bit of a letdown. The fact that this is a Captain America movie and some Hulk characters had to be in it. They didn't really need to be in it. And I think it's also unfortunate that, yes, the Pantheon and their little crybaby tantrums that, oh man, it is so woke, Black Captain America, man. It's also unfortunate that because of those minuscule, angry, petulant child voices, and because of the box office factor, and because how people don't really, I don't want to say don't like, but don't really, aren't really supportive of Sam Wilson being Captain America, it's kind of upsetting to me that once the multiverse saga ends and we go into a new MCU, I'm kind of a bit scared that, oh, we're gonna give the shield back to Steve Rogers, who will be recasted, and then Sam Wilson will go back to being Falcon, go back to being a black sidekick instead of him being a lead character. Because I don't know if you notice, if y'all notice, there's this video from comedian Godfrey. He made this video about how black talent did a lot for Hollywood, or how maybe an idea they had changed the trajectory of said movie, and the movie became a big success. I can't remember. He brought up how when Blade came out, the first Blade movie, people weren't rocking with comic book movies or even Marvel, because before then, the Marvel movie people were familiar with was Howard the Duck and that whole thing. And also, Blade came out a year after Batman and Robin, and people were like, if this is how comic book movies are going to be, no thanks. I don't want no part of this childish stuff. Then Blade came out, and while it wasn't a big hit, it opened the doors for the MCU, for Spider-Man, for X-Men, for a bunch of things we have now. So if you look at it, yes, while X-Men and Spider-Man blew the doors off, Blade kicked the door down. Why the MCU is where it is now, not in this down period, but what the MCU is now, where it's become the biggest thing in Hollywood, is because of Blade. Why? Because hashtag black people sell. And I think it's unfortunate that because Anthony Mackie as Sam Wilson / Captain America didn't break the doors down and didn't blow the roof off and become a big hit, then it's like, well, we tried it with him. We're gonna give the shield back to the white man, and Sam will go back to being a sidekick. And indirectly saying, well, Chris Evans wasn't Captain America, so it didn't make big at the box office for that reason. To indirectly say that is frustrating. It is frustrating. And Anthony Mackie, through no fault of your own, you were given an impossible task. To quote the John Wick movies, you were given an impossible task. And to me, even though the movie was not up to par, you did your job well. And I think you are deserving of the shield. I don't care what anybody says. You are deserving of the shield and deserving of being Captain America. And I'm sorry that the movie, your big solo Cap movie, didn't work. But it's not your fault. If anything, Marvel should have done better. Marvel should have and could have done better to give you your best movie. And unfortunately, I don't know if that will happen now, but I hope it will, and prove to people that yes, Sam Wilson, he can sell as Captain America, and people will come and see it. But I think it won't happen now. Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. Let me know what you guys think about it down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that. Kevin Feige, I respect you, but that was foul what you said. Truly foul.